it is my pleasure to introduce the birthday boy, Owen, to the podium.
Hello, everyone. My name is Owen Logan. Yes, today is my birthday, and I just want to start off by saying I could not think of a better gift than the opportunity to give a presentation on my undergraduate thesis as a newly instated 22-year-old. Thank you to the Kilachand Honors College for coordinating and bringing all my beloved family and friends here, both physically and virtually. But let's begin. For my thesis, I made a short film via the College of Communication capstone course, Production 3. I was the director of photography in the course, and we're partially funded by Kilachand and the College of Communication, and crowdfunding. A student film crew produces a short film in the culmination of their knowledge here at university. And my presentation today is about that filmmaking process through my lens as the director of photography. So let's begin. So what is a director of photography? Well, a creative force alongside the director behind the visual vision of the story, and is in charge of that visual vision's execution. Below here, you can see many famous directors of photography. You have The Revenant, you have Shawshank Redemption, you have Apocalypse Now. I want to point out Vittorio Storaro. He was the director of photography for Apocalypse Now. They're filming there in Southeast Asia. Incredible cinematographer. So I just want to get into a little bit of behind the context of a film crew. This is the above-the-line film crew. These guys are involved before production actually begins, before principal shooting. These are your key creative roles. There's me right there. You have your director, your cast, your writers, and your producers. And then this is the rest of the crew. This is how the movie gets made. These are the guys that really get it done. And this is the gang that I had the pleasure of working with. Just to break it down, you have your camera team. They're in charge of your camera, your lenses, and your physical film, or in the case of digital photography, your SD cards. Then you have your electrical team. They're in charge of anything pulsing with electricity, your generators, your extension cords, and your lights, otherwise known as lamps. And then you have your grip team, which is in charge of creating any structure needed for the other teams. They're absolutely essential. So now into my script that I got to be a part of, Plan B. It's a dark comedy written by the director Nicola Civita, his brother Max. The pair are huge Tarantino fans and were inspired to write this piece based off of his trademark trunk shot, which you can see two examples here. And the story's about an ill-prepared couple's poorly executed kidnapping. And so best way I can describe it is think Raising Arizona meets Fargo. And so, yeah, let's just dive in. And once you receive a script from your director, you do a script breakdown, you take notes, and now pre-production is in full swing. So this is your mood board. Your mood board is absolutely essential to get established at the beginning of your production. This kind of establishes your visual language through images related in color, composition, or otherwise. And here you can establish a color palette. So I'm going to use this as a case study for how I established the color of our moonlight. In the film, we had a yellow taxi, and on that yellow taxi, there are red brake lights. So the complementary color for red is green, so I chose a steel green gel, which is what you place in front of a light, as the color for the moonlight. Just a quick tidbit. This is our location scout. This is where we ended up shooting in a remote location for 2 weekends in Sterling, Connecticut. Location scouts are absolutely essential, and there's a few things that you have to do when you're going on a location scout. 3 things I want to highlight for you that I had the pleasure of looking for are lighting conditions, visual fit, and electrical situation. So as far as lighting conditions, here there's no ambient light. You have no street lights, nothing. And we're shooting at night for our first week, and we have overnight shoots every night. So that's absolutely essential to notice. You want to notice the movement of the sun. That for the next thing, electrical conditions, we are not connected to the grid whatsoever. So I had to bring all my electrical power in, and I'll get into the generators later, but that was quite a feat. And then visual fit. So as a cinematographer, I'm talking to the director, and I'm saying, okay, how does this fit within the visual aspects of our story? And so here's our storyboard, and I'm going to show you the storyboard artist's renderings, not mine that I gave to her, my little chicken sketches. But anyways, the storyboard's absolutely essential to communicating what the shot could look like. It's a rendering of these different shots, and very, very important for the crew to have as reference when in the heat of production. Here's some more. And now you have your shot list. Your shot list is really important because it highlights your subject, the description, and this is a shot list for scene 2, which was our biggest scene, which we shot in the evening. It also tells you what camera crew, because you can have multiple camera crews shooting at the same time. You're shooting on a limited production schedule, limited finances, so sometimes you have to split up your crew and shoot two shots at the same time, so you can highlight all this information here concisely in the shot list. And then here's our lighting overheads. These are the schematics for scene 2, which I mentioned was our largest scene. We shot at night. We're shooting in a clearing in a dune area, right? So for me as a cinematographer, I'm looking at this. I need to light this like a stadium. I need to make sure you can see the tree line, you can see the ground, you can see these shipping containers, the car. You need to be able to see your characters through all their different movements. And here's a close-up of one of the shots. This is a little bit more of a rudimentary version, but you can see camera movement, you can see character movement in that shot. You can highlight these different aspects of the different lamps or lights that you're using. These are bounces, whether we're bouncing lights off onto the characters. But it's a really great tool to communicate to the lighting team. And this is our equipment list. So I had the pleasure of driving a 15-foot U-Haul through Boston, down to Sterling, Connecticut, and back. And that was incredibly fun, making 4 different stops because we used 4 rental facilities. So we had to pick it up from 4 rental facilities and drop it off from 4. And if you think that's the feat, it's really just keeping track of this equipment for 2 weekends with a crew of 25 people in the middle of nowhere. So we had 250 items of both large and small equipment. We had 5 generators. That includes 2 gas generators, as you can see on the screen, and 1 electric generator. And 1,300 feet of extension cord, which I promise you all were used for that scene too. And it was a pleasure wrapping those all up. And then you can see down here the camera we use. We actually have a Sony FX5, I believe, using by the cameraman for this presentation. And the lights we use were Aperture 600Cs. He's using it 600X to light my face right now. So a lot of similarities going on. Now this is some behind the scenes. So we actually had moving shots where the car was driving around, and we mounted the camera on the car. We used a combination of mounts, suction cups, and clamps to mount on different positions. This is another behind-the-scenes moment. We used a dolly track. A dolly is just a camera cart. You can see the cart here. That's myself. And we attached a crane, also known as a jib, and that allows for versatility and adaptability both horizontally and vertically with movement, so we can get some really fun, creative shots. And then right here, I like to point this out. We actually didn't even use the trunk of the taxi for the shots, because the trunk was too small. We tore out the 3rd row of a Cadillac limousine, and we shot through the frame of the car, and that's me shooting through there. This is a 15 by 15 foot diffusion frame. That's really important for when you have direct light. Softening that light, making the lighting conditions consistent, even though the sun's moving, absolutely essential. And this is just a fun shot. This is a swamp. We backlit it, bounced the light off of the swamp into the trees, so it silhouetted the leaves quite nicely in some of the frames. So, wow, even the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. You'd think after all that, we'd be very prepared, but, as with life, it's impossible to plan for everything. And I'm not sure if more on this project could have gone wrong, and me being able to show you something today. Plan B ended up turning into Plan Z, and I'll highlight a few things for you. Our producer, he delayed crew arrival by 5 hours by not reading the fine print on our rental car schedule, or rental car rentals. And so all of our crew was delayed, and that affected the rest of the production schedule for both weekends. Incredibly devastating, to be honest. Failed to prepare catering plans, no transportation plan, not enough beds in the housing, did not acquire SAG actors' union signatures before shooting, so technically anything we captured could have gone to the trash. No financial tracking of money spent, and ended up leaving the project early in the morning after the first night of shooting for personal reasons. So I got to become producer. Myself, the director. that was a great time. I want to also highlight right here, it's hard to see, but this is a Massachusetts State Police van that we used. And it's stuck in the sand dunes. And this is the catastrophe of sandbags and wedges that I put underneath the wheels, and I used 3 ratchet straps that got absolutely snapped and torn to pieces. And it's stuck still. We couldn't get it out. And so in a few of the frames you're going to see today, that van is stuck. We just dug the wheels out so it looks a little bit nicer. This U-Haul, which I had the pleasure of driving, first weekend coming back into Mass, thank God we dropped all of our equipment off, but the coolant gasket broke off the engine. And it literally stopped running. So we got to push this thing through Cambridge for 25 minutes, all the way back to U-Haul, stopping traffic, getting the good old Boston love. No, it was a phenomenal time. And so, actually this day, I also want to say, I was up on Sunday at 1 p.m., right? We're shooting at night. And then we stayed up all the way through, and I was up till 6 p.m. on Monday. That was fun, 29 hours. But let's go through. The show must go on, right? So let's see some clips. I made a little sizzle for you guys so you guys can see some of the visual aspects of the film to music.
Look at me, motherfucker. You make one more noise, you'll never make a noise again, okay?
Go home, little baby.
I got the feeling that something ain't right.
I'm working for you right now.
I'm so scared in case I fall off my chair. And I'm wondering how I'll get down the stairs.
I didn't like you before you broke my leg, but now,
Jokers to the right, here I am, stuck in
look at me.
with you.
So you try me
Yes,
again.
I'm
Try
stuck
me
in
again.
Who are you intimidating this kind of in a fucking
I'm
trunk?
wondering what it is I should do. It's so hard to keep the smile from my face. Losing control, yeah, I'm all over the place. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the
Jesus
middle
Christ,
with you.
what happened to your nose? Kiss the door?
And you're out of yours, tell me, man. And you're filthy, I'll come crawling. Slap you in the back and say,
Fast Sergeant Richmond, high, stop!
I gotta go, he's getting away, baby! Baby, go for him!
Baby, he fixed my nose. Don't you? Baby, don't you fucking dare drive.
stuck in the middle with you. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
Baby, my water broke!
Oh, fuck. Get in! Get in!
Thank you. I was supposed to issue a preemptive warning. It is, Tarantino-influenced film. There's some Tarantino language involved in the film, but I hope you enjoyed the sizzle. All the efforts and toil that result in the sequences of pixels, projections, and images on a screen provoke emotion in you, the viewer. That's the goal of film. So from ink to action, filmmakers attempt to anticipate the unexpected, yet we never truly know what will happen both in front and behind the camera, and that is the magic of movies. Thank you so much.
Questions?
Yeah, so great presentation. I really loved and enjoyed the clips. As a cinematographer, how was it stepping into that producer role? Obviously, there's a lot that a producer has to do. How was that stepping into it, and what were like some of the challenges you faced and overcame and were able to learn on the spot?
That's a great question. I could have talked all day long about everything that went wrong, but I just want to highlight a few things. But that week, I skipped all my classes. I locked myself in the basement with the director, with a guy named Jamie Komponeski, who's absolutely essential in the comm world. But yeah, we had no budget, no transportation plan. Unfortunately, this is a student project, right? The goal of this is to be a thesis bridging the gap between student production and kind of independent filmmaking. But just like the real world, sometimes you don't get matched up with the best people, and you gotta make do. And so, yeah, we had to do all of his work over again. And that was an incredible process because I got to kind of do two theses, I guess. But that was thank you for the professors out there that I got to email, and they were very gracious with giving me some time off that week in between the two shoots. We had to find new housing. It was a whole mess, but we made it work, and now we're here.
Hey, Owen. Where can I see this once it's finally been released and published?
Phenomenal question. It is currently getting touched up, finishing aspects in post-production. However, it's going to be screening in COM before graduation, not on graduation, but before graduation weekend. And I can release that date. We can get that out there sometime. But yeah, it's a public screening, and they're screening actually all the production 3 thesis films. So I'm sure a lot of the people in the room here know other people that have made films. I know Diego's in here somewhere. Diego was a producer on a film. So it would be great to come support your fellow BU University students. A lot of creative people out there.
Okay, awesome. Oh, nope, I lied.
Thank you, Owen.
Yeah.
Are you 1?
Are you 5?
Thank you, everybody.